All right, Jules, we're not done because we have more quick hits.
Yes.
Liverpool stay top with a 3-2 comeback win at Southampton. Jules, it could have been a very different story if their opponents hadn't been in a festive mood giving away gifts.
before
And if
Christmas.
Mohamed Salah didn't exist.
Yeah, it helps when you've got Mo Salah in your team. Obviously, it also helps when the opposition team play a goalkeeper like Alex McCarthy. We like him, but like
I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he clearly
he
just
can't
lost
play
the
football
ball.
anymore. He can't play football anymore. I mean, I don't know what he's doing on the Liverpool second goal. I don't know where he's going. I don't know why he's coming out like that in that angle in that way. When it would made no sense. But if you're Liverpool, and we've said they've been really, really good this season at exploiting mistakes from the opposition. When they don't play well, they just wait, and if you give them a little something in the box, they'll punish you. And that's exactly what they did on the 3 goals.
Yeah, and the third one, of course, was Sugawara, brain fart with his handball. They have this ability to hunker down and not make mistakes when things aren't going great. And I don't think Liverpool were playing great at all in this game.
But they haven't.
And that's how you win. That's how you win titles.
Yeah. And sticking with Liverpool, Mohamed Salah also said after the game that he has not received an offer yet to extend his contract, and he's more out than in. I quote, more out than in.
Yes. And he said it's not in his hands. It's not in the hands of the fans. He was disappointed that he hasn't heard from the club. I think we're playing a game here. It's a negotiation. Rami Abbas, his agent, I am 100% certain, is talking to the club about what they're going to do. It's about finding a number. And I go back, and boring as this might be for people, it's not the kind of thing where you give him what he wants. It's just a stupid reaction to have.
Yeah.
Everybody has a value. They have Michael Edwards there. I wonder if Michael Edwards doesn't really give interviews, but one of Michael Edwards in the back of his mind says, hey, maybe if I hadn't had to leave the club for a year, maybe we wouldn't be in a situation where Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent are all in the last 6 months.
But I mean, if you're Salah and you know that Trent has an offer, that Virgil has an offer, and you don't have one, you kind of know like the writing is on the wall.
Do you know
really.
you don't have one? Or do you just say you don't have
he
one?
would not say, I think, if it was not, he would not lie like that.
No. He doesn't have, but an offer means something in front of you that you can sign.
No. That's a contract offer. An offer is like, hey, they've just told me they're ready to pay you X amount of money for the next 2 years.
Who knows what Rami Abbas is telling him? And I think this applies to the other 2 guys as well, frankly.
I personally, I think that he doesn't have an offer the others 2 have, and I think that's not for him, and rightly so. He must be like, okay, what's going on there? And
all right. My guess, and I don't know, purely speculating, he's going to take a pay cut and he's going to stay because the market for him out there in terms of places where he would want to be, assuming he's not just moving for money, is actually very, very small. Not because he's bad, but simply because the market has changed. Arsenal demolished Nottingham Forest 3-0. Jules, remarkable how much better they are when Martin Odegaard is around.
Yeah, that's very true, Gab. They were just so good, so certainly for the first half. The fluidity in their game, the flow, everything that he brings. And players around him that clearly feel completely different when he's on the pitch, from Saka to Timber to even the Trossard, all the other players. It was good. It could have been more than 3. They controlled more in the second half, really. Calafiori was back, which was really good at left back, played for an hour. They even rested someone like Kai Havertz. And Ethan Nwaneri at 17 came on, looked really good and scored a goal. So perfect.
Yeah, I think Ethan Nwaneri will get, he's the perfect segue to Odegaard. Different profile, perhaps, but in terms of leadership and whatever. Do I need to see? Are we going to see? I guess I have to see Gabriel Jesus at center forward because Kai Havertz can't play every minute of every game.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, not my preference.
Real Madrid win 3-0 away at Leganés and are now within 4 points of Barcelona with a game in hand. Yes, that's right. And Gab, we saw Fede Valverde at right back and Vinicius playing in the center and Kylian Mbappe back scoring.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. We knew Carleto had to make some changes, obviously enforced, and we saw Asensio come back, play center back.
Yeah.
Valverde right back. Some of us had been suggesting this for a while.
There's nothing else he could do, really.
There's nothing else he could do, but I think you are kind of seeing in the future. I know he's I don't want to play there. I'm like, dude, just live with it, right? Because Camavinga is going to get better, because Bellingham's there. You can make a whole career out of it. Worked pretty well for Dani Alves, right? But hey, maybe they will get a right back. I don't know. More interesting to me is what they did up front with Arda Güler on the right. I said, hey, Kylian, you've had your 2 weeks off. You've had your wellness days, your well-being days, your mental health days. Why don't we return you to your left-hand side where you played most of your career and see how that happens? And he got Vini to play through the middle. I don't know if Vini was almost like a 10, frankly.
Yeah,
because he was starting from deeper.
Yeah.
Against a team that sits super deep the way Leganés does, that works great because
Yeah.
Vini can run at defenders from deep and pick up space. He showed that he can pass. I mean, that's not his side. It's not something he gets to do very often when he plays on the left wing. But I mean, that pass to Mbappe for the goal, I thought was impressive. He draws people out of position. Arda Güler showed again that he's a little special. Güler or Brahim Diaz on the right, waiting for Rodrigo to return. Maybe this is a scheme. And shout out to Jude Bellingham because we've criticized him in the past when he hasn't performed. He performed, and I thought he was on fire.
Not very good though. Let's be honest.
This was way back on Friday, but Paris Saint-Germain beat Toulouse. Speaking of not very good, 3-0. However, it was 1-0 until a few minutes left, and they ended up actually behind on the expected goals, Jules.
Yeah, they had a lot of chances, and he also rotated a lot again, which
we got to see Skriniar. Who was that masked man at the back?
I know, you're right. Absolutely, that's true.
Desiree Doué at center forward. How about that? Not so much.
Yeah, no, Asensio more. Doué was playing deeper, but Asensio as a false nine is always the same. We're waiting for Gonzalo Ramos.
You have two forwards, essentially, if you have Doué and Asensio in the middle. I mean, whoever you want, whoever's in front of that's different. Right?
Yeah. Asensio, more in that position. I've played more there. But yeah, they gave two massive chances. One that was really wasted over the bar in the second half, and one great return from Zaire Emery, who was outstanding, apart from giving away the ball for one of the big chances. But there was a lot of good things again there. Joy Neves was outstanding, scored a great first goal. But it's just this, there's just something they like when they get into the box, which I don't really understand what it is exactly. Enzo Fernandez is back in the starting lineup for Chelsea. Scores one and sets up another away in their win at Leicester on Saturday. Gab, has Maresca changed his mind?
I don't think he's changed his mind in terms of Maresca versus Romeo Lavia, but this system, which was essentially a 4-1-4-1. I mean, if you look at the Enzo heat map, he's almost alongside Cole Palmer. Yeah. To do this, you need to have monster Caicedo behind you. And Moises Caicedo has really been stepping it up. I think this is what gave him the confidence to say, all right, you sit in front of the back four by yourself, and we'll leave Romeo Lavia out for this one. And you saw what Enzo can do for you. I thought he was very good. I thought Chelsea could have scored easily 3 or 4,
they were good.
If not more. Now, it'll be curious to see, though. This was against a poor Leicester side. What do you do against better teams? Can you play Enzo in that position? Do you go back to Lavia? I think it's good to have that option. Long term, Enzo Fernandez probably can't be on the bench, but equally, Enzo in a 2 against certain teams is going to be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jules, we've sort of been sleeping on them this year, but it's time to give Eintracht Frankfurt some love. Their win over Werder Bremen makes it 5 on the bounce, and they move into second place. Plus, that goal scorer looks very strangely familiar. Where have I seen him before?
Yeah, maybe a certain World Cup 10 years ago. Here you go. Mario Götze with the goal. Ugo Ekitike.
Same guy? It's not some other dude with the...
Ugo Ekitike with the assist. Great game from Ekitike. With Marmoush has been their star player this season. Didn't score this time, but Ekitike, who's also been very good, provided with the assist. They're a really fun team to watch. We've said that they score a lot of goals. They play with a lot of intensity, super attacking. I think they're really worthy of that second place in the table because they've been really that good.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't necessarily the best example of it, but all season long, I think they've had this consistency. I think they lost to Leverkusen and Dortmund away. Those are their only 2 defeats, and that's why they're up there.
Milan and Juve played to a scoreless draw. Gab, 2 varying reactions from the manager.
Yeah, so I quote from Paulo Fonseca.
Yeah,
he's like, in my career as a player and a manager, I don't think I've ever been involved in a more boring game. The buildup was too slow. There wasn't enough risk-taking. There wasn't enough intensity. Now, Paulo, I love you. And he said because they got booed by their own fans at the end. He's like, I would have booed too if I was a fan. Paulo, I absolutely love you. I love your honesty.
And you agree with him, right? Because I agree with him.
I agree with him.
Okay.
Also, you played a million midfielders, fine. But by the same token, dude, it's your job to fix it. Thiago Motta, on the other hand, the dreamer with a funny formation. Okay, he's got the alibi, no Vlahovic.
Yeah, and away from home.
And he's like, oh yeah, point away from home. Suits us just fine.